And we're live. Hi, everyone. I am here with Lars Andreasen and David Hesselfeld. Did I say that right for once, David?
I think that's the first time you said it right. Yes,
Yes, because I continually say Hasselfeld,
and that is wrong.
and it
Yes,
is Hesselfeld.
yes, thank you.
Sorry about that, but now it's out there. I do make mistakes, some of them quite egregious, including my friends' names. Apparently, I'm sorry, but we are here to talk about Sealand Open, the event itself. And I was TO, and Lars and David, you were the event organizer team with me. So, how did you think it all went? Lars, let's start with you.
Well, I played, so I didn't do much tournament organization while I was playing. There was some small things about getting into the venue that was a little problematic, whereas the previous year it was easier. But
Yeah.
we'll try to sort it out for a hopeful next tournament. But overall, the games were great. The venue is good. I had an enjoyable weekend.
Yeah. And quite poetically, you guys faced off against each other for the third place in the tournament.
Well, not the third place, the fifth and sixth place, right?
Fifth and sixth, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
It would have been better for the third place. Yeah.
It actually would. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. But well, I mean, coming fifth and sixth in your own tournament, it's still good. Still good. David, what do you think about the event itself?
I
Did it run
actually
as
thought it was
smoothly as you wanted?
amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had a little bit of a hard time letting go of the reins and letting you do everything because you do some things that I would like to do differently.
Yes,
but since I wasn't TO, I couldn't really say much about it.
Nope.
But overall, I think the tournament was extremely relaxed, well paced. There was no stressing between games, even though we hadn't put that long breaks in. Everybody was really chill. There was a very high mood amongst everybody. Maybe it had something to do with the Polish beer that was donated to us that was freely available in the fridge.
By the way,
that might have something. I don't know.
Thank you, Lukasz. We need
thank
to.
You, Lukasz.
Lukasz, our resident Pole, he had donated like 24 half-liter beers or something like that. Polish beer. That was brilliant. Thank you so much.
And I think a large part of it is I think it's two part. It's the players that come are all there to chill and have fun, and I think actually the venue has a large role to play in it. We have a good amount of space for the amount of players we are. We can even up the amount of players next year if we so desire and people join. Then it's a really well isolated, sound-proofed room, or it's a big amphitheater type of room, and so there's you can talk normally across the table with your opponent. You have nobody around you except you and your opponent. You have place to put all your armies and your dice and everything. And I think that makes a big difference in terms of the level of energy you spend on each game. I mean, we managed to do 4 games on Saturday, and nobody thought it was too much. Everybody says, it seemed like a lot, but actually it was really, really good.
Yeah.
And I think that's really positive because some of the other tournaments where we have 3 games, I'm absolutely hammered afterwards. And yes, I was tired, obviously, but it wasn't the same way. I didn't feel like I was completely under the floorboards, ready to crawl to bed when I was done.
Yeah.
I was ready to play.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, I think, felt like that. At least a lot of people who reached out to me afterwards as the TO. A lot of people, I think, assumed that it was me that they needed to talk to about this. And for me, everyone was so positive. Everyone was like, yeah, I just changed my list. When do we play next time? And like that is because typically people have a little bit of the post-tournament blues or something like that, where you're like, oh, that was it. I'm off. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Then I may want to have another game. But this one, it was like the 2 days later that the first guy approached. Like,
absolutely.
When are we playing again? Yeah.
Yes. So. I felt the same. And at some point today, I think we should also discuss the pack, because I have thoughts on how the pack went.
about that right now, because the pack was a lot of it was David's, your brainchild here, with double platoon and small points for the first day, and then for the second day 1250, which gave you a lot of points, especially because you only had one tank slot, and one vehicle that was 8+. Lars, what did you personally feel about that pack?
Well, I mean, like originally I thought, well, that's going to be a lot of veterans and it's going to be one bigger tank choice. But the closer I got to the tournament, the more I heard about lists like David's. Well, like ultimately a really nasty list to play at least timely objectives. Well, he crushed me completely. But it was like, I didn't, as an Italian player, have that many tools to combat that. But I think like one of the things we should think about if we do a similar pack is to make sure we don't get those very spammy lists with a lot of because there's some nations that have a lot of options to get a lot of dice in there that is quite effective on missions like time objectives. I mean, I looked at David's list when we were playing. To like, I mean, I have a very low chance of winning. We talked about. I think you said like 65 to 35, and like after playing like the first 2 rounds, because you were really really good at the first couple, you hit some stuff that was like, now I'm certainly not winning anything here.
And just for the viewers here, let's just say that last you had brought your Italians, which was an assault Italian case blue list, right?
Yeah.
Quite recently painted. I think you finished on the night before or something like that.
Yeah.
And
with your wife's help. Kudos to
with
your
the wife's help. Like, thanks for that. And David, you had brought your we call it the for fuck's sakes list, FSSF Scouts. So you were spamming order dice and pins all over the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that was a bad matchup, especially in that mission, wasn't it, Lars?
Yeah. But I think like when we're doing a pack like that, I think we should like think a little bit about the missions, because there are like consequences to whatever we choose and the mission we choose. I mean, David's list was like perfect for those objective missions. I guess you won all those objective missions.
No. So the other objective mission, which was key positions, I drew because Bo didn't have proper time management skills. So I was 1 dice away from winning.
Yeah,
but we ran out of time.
Yeah, you ran out of time.
But generally, I think the one critique I have of my own brainchild is actually the 750 part of the game. I think the 1250 is fine and could continue in whatever format V3 may allow. But the 750 part, I think I would limit to single platoon. Yeah. If I had to redo it, or not redo it, because I think it was fun. Everybody actually had a nice time of also building the lists. But as a next adventure, I would do 750 single platoon. Or something of the sort. I
and
also
then potentially you could add a new platoon for the 1250.
And then the 1250, I would say maybe then should be a second platoon.
Yeah.
And
especially
that's how
because we had sort of narrated it like your forces already engaged and the reserves are coming in on day 2. Just hold out until day 2.
Exactly.
So that would make sense that it was a new platoon, right?
Yeah.
So the event itself was really well received, well run. I think everything worked out really well. A lot of
were you pressured as a TO? Did you have a lot of people harassing?
No, I was not. This was the easiest tournament to TO I've ever done, and I've done a few. This was absolutely the easiest because 1, people knew the rules. 2, people knew that if you call over a TO, we're just there to make sure that the game progresses. People weren't arguing rules. They weren't even asking rules quite often. They were like, most of the issues that I was called over to resolve was like, can my unit here see that unit there and shoot? That was the most common. It was like 80% of all I did during the weekend was like, bend down, check, line of sight. Yeah, you can shoot.
I think
So
that's good for us. That is like
that's
that. It
really
means
good. Yeah,
the players are relaxed
yeah,
and I mean it was competitive in the sense that people wanted to win,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Um,
But they weren't
but people had
arguing.
fun doing it.
Yeah, and they weren't arguing rules, and everyone felt like they actually enjoyed each other's company while they were trying to win, which was
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah. And it was again for people who weren't there, we were distributed among two separate floors. So we had an upper story and a lower story where we were at, and we had 7 tables on one floor and 6 on the other, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was walking up and down stairs quite a lot, but I did have help. So a lot of these questions where it was just a question of can my unit see? I had helpers who were perfectly capable of just being a neutral. Somebody called over to a table. Yeah, you can see. Um, and so few rules questions, so few real like TO jobs for me to do. So actually, I felt kind of like I might want to play another time because there wasn't really anything for me to do. Um, so yeah, for me as a TO, it was really really nice as well. And yeah, that
I think
was
we could. I think we could do that if we at least all of us TO then. But it's a little
yeah,
bit more difficult when you're TOing and playing because you want to be as impartial as possible.
yeah you do. Yeah,
Especially if you're playing like David and I was, at least for the day 2, we were playing for top positions,
top
right?
tables. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So it's really nice, but I also think it's necessary for a tournament. As soon as you go above 12, I think it's necessary that you have a dedicated TO.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as you go above 20, it's necessary that that TO has at least one assistant or maybe a co-TO. So yeah, that's just
Well,
something
we can take turns
yeah,
yeah.
I think we should.
if we
Also saying
continue with
this.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're doing this next year, I also think if we're not thinking, I'm probably not going to think too much about qualification for the coming VTC. That was one of the reasons why I played, because I had a terrible nationals and I really want to be able to qualify on my merits. So it was a bit better tournament, this one, for actually qualifying based on my
Well,
merits.
coming sixth, that was pretty good. I mean,
But that actually leads us to another point that we did differently than any other tournament we've ever been at, and that was the last matches. The 6th game was for placement instead of the Swiss draw ranking system.
Yeah.
At least for the top 6, right?
Yeah, and that was the only thing that sort of messed up a little bit. I as a TO, I should have been a little better prepared. I think that was maybe my one mix up, because I did get it with placement games for number 6 to number 1. All of that, the top 3 tables, they were all placement tables.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to do it all the way down. Which I guess it didn't matter massively for people who were lower down, but it did mean that like one person who in the Swiss came 5th didn't get his 5th place; he got his 7th place instead, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I also in placement matches got a 5th, but in Swiss I actually got a 3rd.
Yeah. So there is that little bit of difference, and I think I just needed to be a little bit better prepared for switching out of Tourney Keeper, which it was the tournament app that I was using, switching out of Tourney Keeper after game 5 and going into game 6, just going over and using a bit of paper instead, and just saying, right, these are the placements, these are the guys playing each other. That would have been easy enough, but my brain didn't. Yeah, so a little bit of learning curve there for me, I think.
But how do we feel about the placement masters
I like
as
it.
an idea? I really actually prefer it as well.
Yeah. What about you, Lars?
I mean, I was probably the most skeptical coming into this. I mean, you both were like, "That's what we should do," and I was like, "Well, then what about the players that actually do well on their second day because of the the points and whatever? They are going to lose out like a little bit, right?" And I won on the placement, right, because I dropped fairly far down on Swiss. So yeah, ended up being good for my placement, but I mean, not taking that away from it. I think it was good because we were supposed to be matched up against the players that we quality wise over the 2 days were supposed to meet in a final placement match.
Yeah.
I also I think it helped that we had 6 games instead
It
of
really did.
just
Yes. 5. Yes. And that was a feature of your escalation, David. I really like that as well.
Yeah, me too.
It really does help to have a lower point games first, and then going into the higher point games, of course, is nice for players to be able to bring all their toys out. And so it's always nice to have at least 1 or 2 games at the end where they actually can like feel they're running their power machine of 27 order dice, David. Yeah. Right. Before we go on, we need to talk about the sponsors, and there was one particular sponsor that that we wanted to call out. But first, Danny of Tabletopper, Lukasz for all the beer. So Danny sent us a nice care package. Lukasz gave us all that beer. We had CC Games, our local friendly game shop here on Sealand. And Warlord Games all sent us packages full of prizes, which we handed out liberally to, like from the bottom up, as we always do. I like that. So all of these, thank you so much for the prizes that we were able to give out because of that. That was brilliant. One particular sponsor we wanted to name, and that is that's Dewey Cat, who actually 3D designed some of the trophies. And Dewey Cat, we're going to show pictures of that in a second, but Dewey Cat asked us not to give him any money for this design, but asked instead that we donate to Ukraine. So we actually also asked the players at the event to, if they wanted to donate anything extra, then give a little bit extra, and a lot of people did.
A lot of people.
It was really nice. So all the profits from this tournament, we did have profits because we didn't manage to spend all the money. So all the profits are now going to be, and this is going to be a live donation. I'm not going to show you my bank card, but I am going to just show you guys, and I'm going to share my screen for just a second.
While you figure that out, maybe it's worth mentioning that we had Dewey Cat create these trophies for us because we wanted to up the level of painting competition that we have at these events, because the hobby is a huge part of the game for all of us, actually. So instead of just the regular coolest themed army, we created a painting competition centered around an individual miniature, full squad painted, a vehicle, and a mini diorama. And we call this Ink of Valor. And we will definitely do that again as well.
Yes.
And we will give people more time next time. I think we gave people a month from when we thought up the idea and until it started, or we hosted the event. So next time,
I will probably next time
we'll give
probably
people
also
like
dioramas,
half a year or something to prepare for this Ink of Valor.
But everyone got like all the prizes were handed out, so that was at least nice. And we'll show the nice Dewey Cat trophies in a minute. But first, I just wanted to tell you guys we're donating to United 24, and we actually had a little talk about us amongst ourselves. We voted to donate to medical aid because it's one of the things that we all feel could be like. I mean, we are playing at war, but real wars are happening, and that is not nice. So the more we can give to help people in need of medical treatment, the better it is. So I'm going to click my way down through the PayPal now, and while I do that, you guys can show some images of what was happening at the event.
David, since I'm on my phone, David, could you show the pictures? I
was not prepared for this. I just saw your message. I will. Sure. I'll try and do that. Let me see here. I will share my screen. I will share my screen, I said. There we go. So this was the price table. And you can actually see Jury Cat's design here that we printed and I painted painstakingly. Let me see, are there more? Yes, here we go. This is a better close-up. Best painted soldier, best painted mini diorama. Here I made a very nice little presentation that I showed just the guys and the contestants to try and hype them before the actual event. And it was a really nice design. It took a little bit of sanding because 3D printing, of course, has these print lines. So, but in all, I think they're pretty cool. And on the back, I don't think I have a picture of that actually. I spray painted the year 2024 as well, so people can see when they want it. This is for the best painted soldier, I think, or squad, whichever. Christian won them both. And this is for the best painted vehicle, which is, of course, Jonathan. He does some excellent, very, very nice vehicles. And here's the other winner, Christian. And I don't have any more. We had one third winner, or fourth winner, sorry, which was
that was Christopher's.
Right, Christopher's
weird and wonderful little Finnish/Soviet. Let me see if I can find it. I think I have a picture of it somewhere.
I don't have a picture lying around, but that was also really pretty. It wasn't really a diorama, so nobody had time to create an actual diorama. Lars sent it. I will share again.
Yeah, it's just of him, not a picture of the actual thing,
okay.
But of
okay. But of course, Christopher deserves his spot for winning that one. There we go. Yeah, so we decided, since nobody actually entered a mini diorama because we gave them too little time to create one, I think. Both, at least Christian and Jonathan wanted to make one, but simply didn't have the time.
Yeah.
We decided to let Christopher win because he made an awesome vehicle, which was a lot different from any other vehicle we've ever seen. Did you happen to find a picture of it, Bo?
Sorry, I was just distracted paying that PayPal thing. I'm still looking, so
No worries.
just a sec. I know I have a picture of it somewhere. There we go. I found it. Right? I found it. Just a sec. I took a picture of the army, and I also have finished the payment, so we can go and show that as well. Just a sec. Here we go. So this was the army. It was a very nicely painted Finnish army as well. The whites and the grays here were very pop, just the way I like them, because colorblind. And this vehicle itself here, this was a weird little construction with a rotor at the back that could blow it across the snowfields. So that was the vehicle that won him best diorama, because it was just so characterful, and he had little glass windows in it as well, so you could see inside. It was just a wonderful little vehicle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he actually also tried to participate in best painted, but just got outmatched, I think, by Christian and Jonathan. So yeah. And I just wanted to show you that there is the donation to Ukraine House DC Foundation. $188 is what we made, and that has now been donated.
Together with the donations from the contestants.
Yes.
And so thank you very much to all the contestants who decided to also donate for this great cause.
Yes.
Of course. And what's this I see? Madrid Open? Are you going playing somewhere?
Yes, I'm going to the Spanish Championships. Yes.
I'm guessing that'll be another video in and of itself on your channel.
Oh, soon. There will be more than one, David. There will be more than one. If we get the lists, I would very much like you guys to come back on and talk through lists with me. But let's see. I don't know. It's the Spanish. You never know. I mean, mañana.
No.
Right. So
Sealand Open 25.
Sealand Open 25, guys. What are we doing? Are we doing something? What's happening?
So I have thoughts.
You have
On the
thoughts
topic.
already, but
I
we
have
haven't even
thoughts.
gotten version 3. I mean, how
No,
can you have
so
thoughts?
and that's
He
one of the
already
things.
has a date. He always had a date.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the WTC, which of course I know you're going to, Bo, and Lars and I hope to participate if we have done well enough. We don't know yet. The date has been moved to end of April, meaning it would clash heavily with where we usually host our Sealand Open. So I am proposing we move it to beginning of February. I think was the date I proposed, somewhere around there.
Yeah, 2nd February. I think it was the 2nd.
So that's one thing.
1st and 2nd of February.
We would need to move it. Moving it closer to summer holiday doesn't make sense.
No.
April WTC, March is usually Danish National. So beginning of February seems like where we would actually be able to place it.
Yeah.
Second thought I have, we will commit, I think, to doing a 2025 Sealand Open. If it'll be version 3 or version 2, we don't know.
That depends on how much we like version 3, does it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. I think most of the community is very skeptical about some of the rumors that are flying around regarding version 3. And if we decide we don't like version 3, we will host it in the spirit of version 2. Is my opinion, at least.
No, I completely agree with that. I mean, then we might take some of the bits from version 3, like if there has been point changes to relevant units or something like that, we might do something like that. But if they change core rules, like one of the rumors, cover saves, I mean, if they do something like that, we might not want to run a V3 tournament. Depends on how they make it, right? So we'll see. Rumors are good and bad.
Yes, rumors are good and bad because they freak everyone out. They're like, everyone is running around saying, "Oh, they're gonna ruin my game," and maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. We have no idea.
Personal opinion: cover saves would ruin bold action. I haven't tried it. Well, we're gonna make it different. Yeah, I don't care. Don't include cover saves. There's no save from a bullet. Come on. Third thought that I have is we will do escalation again because it was actually pretty damn fun.
It was pretty damn fun.
I agree.
I agree. Maybe even going lower points.
Maybe. I'm actually I have this thought. Hear me out. I haven't presented this to the guys yet, so hear me out. I also have another group of buddies that I play with, and they dislike too much cheese, which is fair. So they have the concept, and I'm thinking about this for day 1, and then day 2 we will do something else. 800 points, 1 platoon, maximum of 8 dice.
Ooh.
3 units are available, but they take up the dice.
Depending on if free unit is even a thing in version 3, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that could be fun. It works really well with these guys. It's really hard to make too much cheese when you have 800 points for 800 for 8 dice.
You can't spam units.
Will still skew some nations, even if it takes a dice. Both British and Soviets, and even the French, would get somewhat of a boost because it's 100 points they get free.
It is, but it also takes up that very important dice. The 12 men the Russians get. Yes, it's 100 point free that it can use on other stuff, but it's not great 100 points. The one guy, the free artillery observer that the British get, is a really, really nice artillery observer for 100 points. But it's one guy, so you might be missing some crucial part of your army because you have this one free guy.
I'm a little bit skeptical.
Everything is open for discussion. We can also make it 800 points, 8 dice, no free units. This was just an idea I had. We can also do whatever else we want. So that was my initial thought on the topic, and then do something else for day 2.
I will withhold judgment until I see version 3, and then I'll give my opinion on whether that's a good idea or not. I do like the idea of escalation, though. That I think we should keep in some form, because having more games, quicker games on day 1 was actually kind of nice. I really like that. So I want to be able to participate in that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that as well. I mean, those 4 games just made the day awesome. I mean, playing against 4 great opponents, it's just fun. I mean, and there were some people that were afraid they couldn't make it because there was no dice cap. So there was like a lot of dice in some of those 750 points. But I mean, most made it into turn 5 at least, right?
Yeah,
and I mean, I didn't not finish. Oh, that's really bad English. I finished all my games. That's much better English.
You
I
finished
finished
all your
all.
games. Yeah.
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 Well, at least 6 turn, right?
Right.
I missed one of mine due to Bo's timekeeping. I'm gonna hunt you for that because that cost me the placement match.
You should have been quicker.
I have more than a fair few witnesses that say I had 5 minutes left.
My timer said nope. Right. So we'll see you all next year, I hope. It is an awesome event. It is very welcoming to people from abroad. I mean, it was fairly easy for people to come to Denmark and play. Also because it's in Copenhagen, there's lots of hotels and people are really nice about like lending out sofas and extra spare rooms. So yeah, see you next year.
Thank you so much, guys.
Link to all our sponsors in the description. See ya.